Morning folks, just gone 9:30. I'm back down Elmbridge again for another day session, and this is probably going to be my final day session of the winter. In the next few weeks work's going to start picking up, starting the prep for my short session campaign. Spring on the horizon, and before you know it we'll be nipping over the old channel again into France in May. So quite a busy period coming up for me. But managed to get this session in, so chuffed once again to be here. As you can see by the shot, quite another frosty start. Plenty of cat ice on the puddle there. One of many which is dotted around the lake. But very surprised on arrival this morning not to see any cat ice on the lake. We had a few clumps of it last week, but I'm pleased to say nothing at all today or this week. There's only one other angler present, which is my old man. It's been a poor turnout today on the match, so he's decided to join me on the pheasant pool to fish for the silvers. So good luck to him. But myself, I'm back in the dam in the same swim which I enjoyed my most productive session last week. I'm still using singles. Put you in the picture, the left hand rod is presenting a 10mm 4G squid bottom bait, and I've got a little rubber maggot, a fluoro one, just to give it a bit of colour and extra buoyancy. Middle rod has got a single 10mm coconut cream bottom bait, and the right hand rod is presenting one of the new citrus bottom baits, 15mm bait. All baits have been heavily glugged in sprays and dips, and I have done a little bit of a tweak this week. I've just messed around with the hair. I was using the fluorocarbon straight through last week, but having to think about it when I got back home last week and throughout the week, for my liking it's just a bit stiff, so I've just tied on some supple hairs just by using a bit of braid, which will, in my opinion, doing a few tests at home in the tank, the rig sits a lot better and it just gives the bait extra movement, which can only help with the hooking properties. So so the short time I've been here I haven't seen anything show. Sun's up again, not a cloud in the sky, and from looking at my app on my trusted iPhone, the Met Office is telling me it's going to be like this all day, so it could even rise a degree or two during the day. So I'm gagging for the first brew of the session. I'm now going to pop the kettle on and make myself a nice cappuccino, and hopefully we'll have something to show you during the duration of the day. And if it is going to be my last session, it'd be lovely to finish it on one of those nice mid doubles. That'd be lovely. But as always, just concentrate on getting a bite. Right, kettle's calling. Catch up with that. Ain't took long at all. Just sitting there having a coffee, watching the water, and the middle rod I've had a drop back, and I was just going to grab the rod and it's absolutely belted off. That one's fell to a 10mm coconut cream, just fished as a single. Don't know, probably around about the same size as the one I had last week, 7 or 8 pound. So maybe a tad bigger. But what a great start! Beautiful winter's day, as we're just a shade after 11:10. Not a cloud in the sky. Back to the session. After the early action, it's all quiet. I did see a fish show literally minutes after I banked that small mirror, and the wind did get up for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes with quite a bite to it, but it's dropped about 5 minutes ago, and suddenly it's felt a lot warmer. At one stage my fingers were not responding, they were really cold. But yeah, I've had nothing in the way of indications since that drop back and the middle rod absolutely belted off. But one thing I have done, if I just move around to my left, there's a tree there, and I'll zoom in for you. My old man popped round to scrounge a cuppa, and he told me to drop some bait in near that tree, right literally inches from the branches. And he tells me that they catch this time of the year that close. So I've crumbed up some 10mm bottom baits, some coconut cream, and that's what I've done. I've just put about a handful in, and I shall keep popping over every 10-15 minutes, see if there's any vortexes or bubbles coming up to the surface, and I will definitely give that a bash before I pull off later on today. So there we go. That's the scene coming to 20 past 11. Keep them baits nicely topped up with the old spray and the dip, and I'm moving the rods around every 10-15 minutes still. And hopefully we're going to drop on another one or maybe two during the course of the day. One of them big girls will be even better. Well, it's just gone 3:15. I've been trickling in some broken 10mm coconut creams now and then during the duration of the day. And as you can see, I finally put a rod on it. Dropped the rig really tight against the tree, but there's literally no depth at all. It went down with a donk, so it's nice and clean, and a bit of a hard spot down there, but yeah, a bit concerning with the amount of depth, or lack of it I should say. But I was told early on in the day that they do catch down there at this time of the year, so what have I got to lose? We'll give it a good 45 minutes to an hour. You never know. We could both be surprised. A little 10mm 4G squid, bottom bait with a fluoro maggot as a bit of buoyancy, visual aspect, and a boilie stop. So let's see what happens. Well, if I've got to be honest with you folks, I didn't feel confident at all with that rod under the tree. But it's only been in the water for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I've gone and backed myself a lovely winter common. Looking down its throat and hooking the fish, it was absolutely ram jam full of leeches. There's a classic like congealed slime over it, where this one's obviously been laid up during the winter. But it's decided to come for a munch today. It's around about the same size as the mirror I had this morning. It's very welcome on a challenging session like today, and I'll try and hoist it up. That's fish number 2. Lovely. 4G squid doing the business again. I'm going to pop her back and get the old rod back in. You never know, we might bag another one. I don't know if you can make that out, folks, but you saw me a few minutes ago standing by the rod near the tree, and I thought, what's that? Coming towards the end of February, we've got carp on the surface. There we go. That one stuck its mouth out. I'm going to switch you off for 2 minutes and I'm going to flick a floater. Who knows, you might be able to get one taken off the surface. Give us 2 minutes. Well, I've flicked out some fluoro pink pop-ups which I've just caught the wind and drifted out, but you can clearly see that these fish are still taking off the, there's more than one fish there, yeah. There's a good 2 or 3. and if this continues, I'm gonna have a bash for one of them. I think that's what you call opportunity angling, and not far at all away from the bank. I'm going to sit back and watch them for a bit longer, and if they continue I'm going to stick a floater on these and see if I can nail one off the surface. Well, and again folks, and this one that I've got on the mat here is I think it's safe to say the biggest one of the session so far, if not the day. I'm running out of time now. Right on rod, fished in open water on the new citrus bottom bait. Second drop back of the day, which that's a funny one, but got myself a lovely common here. It's got a distinctive red, or should I say orange spot underneath its pectoral fin. But yep, another block of ice, which is no doubt going to try and beat me up on the bank as I hoist it up in front of the camera for you folks, but I'll do my best. This is the third fish of the session. That's lovely, isn't it? Ooh. Give it one more look for you, and then try and get that rod back in, and who knows, may have had a nick one more before we leave. Chuffy that. Great stuff. Vlog time again. Fish number 4. It's the second boat under the tree, and without doubt we've finished on the best looking one of the session. Probably the smallest one as well, but for scales this one's absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to pick the best side here. I think it's this one here. Right, calm her down. And look at the scales on that. Hey, who cares what size they are when they look like that? That's an absolutely fantastic carp. Chuffed with that, absolutely chuffed. That about wraps it up folks. I'm now going to reel the rods in and I'm going to head home. 4 fish under my belt. My last winter session down Elmbridge. Yep, ticked all the boxes, really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.